Hi, I'm Cherylin, and today we're going to be replacing a transmission in a Maytag washer. You may need to replace your transmission if your washer will not agitate or spin. This repair should only take about a half hour to 40 minutes. For this repair, we're going to need several tools: a 1/2-inch nut driver, a 5/16 nut driver, 1/4-inch nut driver, flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, spanner wrench, a 7/16 extended socket wrench, a 10mm extended socket wrench, a 13mm socket wrench, channel locks, tape, and a hammer. If you don't already have a new transmission, they are available for purchase on our website. Before repairing your washer, make sure that you disconnect it from its power source and also turn off the hot and cold water. We'll start by unhooking the drain hose and unscrewing the hoses from the washer. Remove the drain hose. Be careful of any excess water that might still be in the hose. Use your channel locks to loosen the hoses from the back of the washer. And then you can unscrew them by hand. We need to remove this small access panel, so we'll take our 1/4-inch nut driver to remove the bolt that's holding it in place. And we'll slide it out of the slots on the other side. Next, we'll need to remove the 2 screws holding the top panel in place. Now we can tape down the lid, just so that doesn't fly open when we lift the top panel up. And then we can pull the top panel towards us, lift up, and then push back, and it'll unlock so we can lift it up. Now there are 2 metal tabs that need to slide into the slots on the top panel. And if those are lined up, you should be able to tip the top back, lay it against a wall. Just be very careful as you're tipping the top panel back. There is a pressure hose and a wire harness that'll get a little bit pinched as you lean it back, but as long as you're gentle, it shouldn't be a problem. Lift up on the fabric softener dispenser. You set that to the side. If your model has a dust cap, just lift up on that to take it out. Next, we'll need our 7/16 socket wrench with a long extension. We're going to remove the agitator bolt. You may need to hold on to the tub to loosen that. And once the agitator bolt is loosened, you can take out the agitator. Next, we'll need to remove the tub ring. In order to do that, we need to disengage the tabs that are around the outside of the tub ring with a flathead screwdriver. Next, we'll need to remove the spanner nut. So we'll take our spanner wrench, line those up, then we'll take our hammer to loosen it. And once that's loosened, you should be able to loosen it by hand and remove it. There we go. Next, we're going to remove the inner tub. It is going to be heavy, so just be careful. Lift straight up. Next, we'll need to remove the drive block. If it's stuck on the shaft, just use the hammer to help loosen that up. Lift it off. Next, we can lay down a towel to lay down the washer, just so it doesn't get scratched up. Now we can very carefully lay down the washer. If you do have someone who can help you, I would recommend it. Just be very gentle. And we can work in the bottom. Now that we can access the bottom of the washer, we'll start by removing the pulley cover here. It is held in place by two 5/16 screws, so we'll need our nut driver to remove those. This will remove the cover. Next, we can take off the pulley belt. Just pull and rotate until it comes off. Next, we can take off the pulley wheel. It's held on with a 13mm bolt. So we'll take our socket wrench to remove that. Get a good grip on that wheel. And then loosen that bolt. Might be a little tough the first time, but then you can just remove the bolt by hand. And with that off, we can pull off the wheel. Next, we can disconnect the wire harness from the shift actuator. Just press in on the tab at the top and pull free. Then we can take our Phillips head screwdriver. There are two screws at the top and bottom that we need to remove. There we go. Next, we'll remove the wire harness from the start capacitor. Press in the tab and pull it free. We do need to be very careful with the capacitor. It does hold the charge. Be sure you're not touching the terminals at the end. But in order to remove it, we're going to rotate it counterclockwise and pull out. Some of them do have a nut holding them in place. Just remove that if you need to first. And now we can remove the spletch assembly. There are 4 tabs on the outside that all need to be depressed in order to remove this. There we go. And you can take off the spring. Then disconnect the wire harness from the motor. Press the tab. There we go. Next, we'll remove the bottom bolt on the motor. The motor is heavy, so just beware when we're loosening these bolts. Now we can dismount the transmission from the outer tub. We'll need our 10mm socket wrench to remove the bolts. Grab hold of the transmission, and now we can slide the transmission out. Just be careful of the pump. And now we can place our new transmission. Insert the shaft. Be careful of the wires for the motor. Line up those holes and it should sit pretty straight. Then we can take the bolts, start them in by hand a little bit. And then we can replace the motor. We'll start by screwing in the top. Replace the retainers for the wire harness. Replug in the wire harness for the motor. And make sure your assembly is properly assembled. The white piece goes on the outside, and your cam ring will sit flush in the middle. And you can put on your new spring. This will be pointing down, like so. Then place the splush in the middle. And this will all go on top of the spring here on the transmission. When replacing the capacitor, we'll just need to make sure that the cross here lines up with the square on the transmission. And once that's in place, you can turn it and it'll lock into place. Reconnect the wire harness to the capacitor. And now we can replace the shift actuator. This knob here needs to line up through the hole on the cam ring. And once that's lined up, you can re-screw in the screws. And now we can put the pulley back on. The rigid side goes to the cam splutch. Next, we can replace the belt. First wraps around the motor pulley. And then just guide it along the splutch pulley. It's going to be a little bit tight. Just keep going until it gets on there. Turn it a couple times to make sure it's properly lined up. And replace the cover. And now we can tip up the washer. Next, we can replace the drive block. Line up the notches on the shaft with the drive block and push down firmly. Then we can replace the inner tub. Carefully lower it in. Replace the spanner nut. Tighten it down by hand as far as it'll go. Take your spanner wrench and tighten that down with the hammer. So it's nice and tight on there. Replace the tub ring. The bleach dispenser should be at the front left. Line up the tabs and push down till they click into place. Replace the agitator. Make sure that the cam sits flat on top of the agitator and everything's lined up. Once that sits flat in the agitator, you can tighten down the agitator bolt. At this point, you should be able to turn the top of the agitator both ways and spin the entire tub. And that means everything's lined up properly. Replace your dust cap. And replace the fabric softener dispenser. Now we can close the lid. Pull towards you until it drops, and then push back. Insert the tabs on the small back panel. Line up the holes and replace the screw. Finally, we can reconnect the hoses. Our last step will be to calibrate the washer. Hold the start button for 3 seconds. And counterclockwise, clockwise, 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 counterclockwise, clockwise. You'll notice that all the lights are flashing down here, so you're in your diagnostic mode. Then we're going to turn the knob till just the rinse light is on. And then we'll hit start. and that'll put it into the calibration mode. It'll take a couple minutes and then you'll be ready to go.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you found this video very helpful. If you don't have any of the OEM parts and tools that you saw in the video, all of those products are available for purchase on our website. Our goal is to show that the everyday person is completely capable of cheap and easy household appliance repairs. So please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and maybe even show this video to a friend in need.